President John Dramani Mahama's presentation of 40 new operational vehicles to the Ghana Police Service marked more than just the handover of equipment. It signaled a renewed national commitment to security, protection, and the dignity of law enforcement in a rapidly evolving landscape of threats. Before we dive deeper into today's update, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support is key to helping us grow and reach more viewers like you. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss out on exciting updates. On that morning at the police headquarters in Accra, as government officials, security chiefs, and senior officers gathered, the president's words carried the weight of reassurance. An assurance that the Ghanaian state would neither bend nor retreat in the face of rising criminal activities. The arrival of the vehicles stood as both a physical and symbolic reinforcement of that promise. The atmosphere at the ceremony reflected a mix of pride, determination, and relief. For years, police officers had operated in challenging conditions, often confronting heavily armed criminals with inadequate equipment. President Mahama acknowledged this difficult truth openly, speaking from a place that blended empathy with resolve. Too many officers, he said, had not returned home from missions because they simply were not given the tools that could have protected their lives. But as the line of armored pickups, Cobra 3s, and Cobra 4s stood gleaming behind him, the message was clear. That era was ending. With firm conviction, he declared that the vehicles were not for show. They were not political symbols or ceremonial ornaments. They were operational tools built for danger, constructed to traverse rugged environments, and designed for rapid response in moments when seconds can determine life or death. The fleet represented an investment in peace. Peace not as an abstract ideal, but as a shield that protects communities, businesses, markets, and families across Ghana. And with that investment came a message directed squarely at those who tested the boundaries of law and order. The president's tone grew sharper when he stated that Ghana would not surrender a single street, community, or public space to criminals. Not today, not tomorrow, and not in any future imaginable. It was more than a threat. It was a line drawn decisively between order and chaos. At the center of the ceremony stood the police officers themselves, the men and women who rush toward danger when everyone else is running away. President Mahama's tribute to their courage resonated deeply. He reminded the nation that the uniform is not just clothing. It is a symbol of service, sacrifice, and a promise made daily to protect lives, even at great personal risk. But this time, the promise was reciprocated. He assured them that the government's role was not merely to expect bravery, but to empower and protect them in return. He pledged that the tragedies rooted in inadequate resources would not be repeated. Each mission, each patrol, and each emergency response would now be backed by the right tools. The 40 new vehicles were just the beginning. President Mahama revealed that the government was expecting 2 heavy-duty tow trucks by the end of the month, 10 covert Corvette operational vehicles, and additional pickups to be distributed across police districts nationwide. This phased rollout formed part of a broader modernization strategy, one that extended beyond equipment to include training, technology, and specialized capabilities. Among the plans announced was the introduction of drone surveillance training, a move that would place Ghana at the forefront of intelligence-led policing in the region. Drones would become the eyes that see where patrols cannot reach quickly, enhancing situational awareness and boosting rapid response strategies. Yet modernization was not limited to machines. President Mahama emphasized another critical dimension: accountability. Security, he argued, is strongest when paired with trust. It is not enough for criminals to fear the police. Citizens must also believe in them. That equilibrium, fear for the guilty, trust for the innocent, is what creates a stable and just society. So, as much as the new vehicles strengthened operational capacity, they carried an expectation. Officers who would drive them, he said, must use them ethically, professionally, and lawfully. These were expensive and difficult to procure assets, and misusing them would go against the very spirit in which they were provided. Every officer behind the wheel was reminded that their conduct must reflect not just the power of the badge, but the honor of their uniform. The Inspector General of Police, Christian Tete Yohuno, echoed the president's sentiments with deep gratitude. He spoke not only as a leader, but as someone who understood firsthand the gravity of what the police faced daily. He acknowledged the dangers, the close calls, and the sacrifices made in silence. In his words, the new vehicles were not just additions to the fleet, they were lifelines, critical logistics that would allow the service to confront threats with superior strength, protect officers during operations, and dominate environments previously difficult to secure. He recounted recent successes that demonstrated the effectiveness of intelligence-led operations, including the arrest of suspects who had masqueraded as police officers. These arrests, he noted, were victories not only for the service but for national morale, proving that criminals who imagined themselves untouchable could still be tracked, apprehended, and placed before the courts. With the expanded fleet, the IGP announced that the police were ready to begin a bold and aggressive new phase of operations. Criminal networks, he vowed, would be dismantled structure by structure, link by link, until communities everywhere felt the presence of safety again. Beyond the ceremonial speeches and the impressive lineup of vehicles, the president framed the entire event within a broader national philosophy. A secure Ghana, he said, is not built on weapons alone. True security grows out of opportunity, dignity, and a sense of belonging. When young people have jobs, when communities develop, and when poverty is reduced, crime has fewer places to hide. Peace is therefore not enforced only by force. It is nurtured through fairness and shared growth. The vehicles, then, were not simply tools of enforcement. They were tools of reassurance that the nation was investing in both safety and stability. As the keys were handed over and engines began to rumble to life, the moment captured a turning point. It was a declaration that Ghana's fight against crime would be intelligent, well-equipped, and relentless. It was a signal that the police would stand stronger, move faster, and respond more effectively than ever before. It was also a statement of unity between the government, the security services, and the Ghanaian people, each playing a role in building a nation where peace is protected, justice is upheld, and citizens can live without fear. For viewers following this story, the narrative is not just about vehicles and speeches. It is a reminder of how critical security is to national development. It underscores the fact that behind every market, every school, every road, and every public space, the quiet presence of security officers makes ordinary life possible. And it shows that when a country invests in the safety of its protectors, it is investing in the future of every citizen. President Mahama's message, delivered with clarity and conviction, resonates far beyond that day's ceremony. It is a message of readiness, resilience, and renewed confidence. The Ghana Police Service is stepping into a stronger era, armed not only with equipment, but with the assurance that the nation stands firmly behind them. And as these vehicles roll out onto the streets, communities across Ghana will feel the difference, not in fear, but in safety, presence, and peace.
If today is your first time watching this channel or you are returning to this channel for the exciting content, please subscribe to the channel for more educative and developmental projects across Ghana and Africa as a whole. Do you want to know about the state of a project in Africa? Then make sure to like and comment the name of the project you would like us to talk about and its current state.